Any of you guys started Christmas shopping yet? I have.
I'm done. Done.
Really?
Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm
This
broke,
this
but I'm
segues
done.
into my segment, and it's actually good this year. The plot of what I'm getting gift wise.
The plot.
Yeah,
It thickens.
I'm gonna improve. I'm gonna improve people.
You want to know when I was done? I was done when I got this guy's gift,
Yeah.
which I'm actually going to give to him now.
Oh.
I'd like you to tell the story about
How
you
fortuitous
how-
that we're discussing this at this
before
juncture.
hydration.
before hydration. No, this is the pre-show.
Fair enough.
Do you remember the conversation we had last week? Fat guy in a little coat, and you've never, ever, for some godforsaken. I feel like I failed you as a friend that you've never seen the movie Tommy Boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you went to an American public institution in college, and you never saw Tommy Boy.
Where one of the stars of that movie went to college.
Exactly.
To quote JP from episode 2, how do you not know that?
There it is.
Facts only.
How have you not seen that? Well,
I was sheltered as a child in many ways.
Merry Christmas,
there it is.
Oh, yes.
Right here in the bullpen. The gift that keeps on giving.
The Holy Schnikey edition.
Rest in peace to Chris Farley.
I was gonna say it's been
So you can
9 years.
you can
been a long
watch
time.
that. You can watch that now this weekend
Or 8 years.
while the
8
missus
years,
is
I
out of
think.
the country.
Deal.
like next week.
We could round up to a decade.
We expect a book report.
Yeah, we'll want a synopsis and all of the great
In
lines.
essay form, please.
Yeah. All right, let's start. And all right, welcome back into the bullpen. Brandon, Evan, JP, Dan, back in the bullpen for the week of December 10th, 2015. Gentlemen, how's it going? Let's check in on fluids, hydration check. Brandon, tell us about what we are sampling today, our micro brew.
We've got the Sonoran White Chocolate Ale from Sonoran Brewing Company in Phoenix, Arizona, one of my favorite beers. They finally started selling it up here in Northern California. To say I was excited would be an understatement. I've passed it along to you and sound guy Brett, who's a big fan as well. So yeah, it's a beautiful,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
beautiful blend.
It's not bad. It's 4.7, and I'm not a big chocolate fan, but this actually tastes not quite
How?
the candy, JP. Chocolate candy. It never lets me live this one down. But anyway, I'm not usually a chocolate fan, and this is actually pretty good.
See, he likes the white chocolate, JP.
Yep.
Lots of blasphemous speak in the first 2 minutes of this podcast.
Thank you very much.
It's going down real
Well,
quick.
Yeah, Sonoran White Chocolate Ale. Check it out if you haven't. It's pretty good. Well, hey, we have a college football playoff, gentlemen. Let's take a look at our picks.
I didn't even get the hydrate
Yeah,
check.
you just skip our hydration
Wow, wait a
check.
second.
Well,
It's still two
Well,
partners.
we all know you're drinking water all the time. You're drinking that water that you drink out of the giant purple jug.
Got to stay hydrated.
JP,
Come on.
there it is.
Oh, there it is! Oh, he's got the Hennessy.
I'm going back to my roots, man, since everybody wants to play with this money. Okay, I'll broker my own sponsorship, and I'll keep it real with the frozen, straight out the freezer, the Heem team.
It's ice cold.
Yeah. I bet you that's
this
going to
could
be
get
ice
ugly.
cold by the end of it.
Cold.
Exactly, man. Accept it and respect it, baby.
This could get ugly. All right, well, now let's jump into...
Now we have college
Yeah,
football
now we have
playoff.
college football. Evan and Brandon win the picks last week, 3 of 4, I believe.
Didn't everybody go 3? Didn't everybody lose one game?
No, because you picked Iowa.
Yeah,
Did I?
you and I picked...
Oh, no, he didn't go Iowa.
I didn't
I
go
went
Iowa.
Iowa, but...
I was the only one to
Oh,
pick
he-
SC, which is fine, but I picked Bama and I picked Michigan
Yeah,
State.
he did go. Yeah, he didn't jump on the Iowa bandwagon.
I did not, even regardless of
So
what.
I'm the only loser at the table.
pretty
Cheers,
much.
gentlemen.
That's what happens when you don't love chocolate.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to lie. That's a correct
It's going
statement.
to be a resounding theme here. All right, so let's take a look at this playoff real quick, guys. First, any takes on the field of 4?
Oklahoma wins.
Wow.
That's a...
Whoa,
not
we
picks.
just went zero to 1,000 there.
Oh, sorry. Are we supposed to are we supposed to ease into this? Or
Yeah,
we just,
Baker Mayfield.
swinging. I mean, in terms of the four that made it, I think it's the great matchups. It's you got a Clemson-Oklahoma shootout. You got an Alabama-Michigan State gonna slam it in your face back and forth. We talked about it on Selection Sunday, if you will. I would have loved an 18 playoff this year: Clemson, Notre Dame, Bama, Ohio State, Michigan State, Stanford, Oklahoma, Iowa. But I can't disagree with those four teams in the matchups.
Four squads is cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I get what you're saying about the 8, and I think down the line, yes, they'll probably clamor more and more for it if we get into more situations like this.
Sure.
But I think they got the four right.
All right, so make your case now for Oklahoma.
Well, Clemson almost blew that game, and they should have. Like, that call was egregious. Like, we've seen some really bad calls, and we've talked about it before. Yeah. But that onside kick, like, that dude wasn't even close to being offside. Like, and I'm not saying UNC goes down and scores and gets the 2-point conversion, but Clemson should have totally Clemsoned that game because they were in the running there, and the refs bailed them out. So I think they are still just playing with house money right now. And Oklahoma's offense, they're too good. I think it will be a shootout, and I think eventually just Oklahoma with the run game, the combo that they have in the backfield, I think they'll be able to, because UNC didn't utilize it. So I think Oklahoma will.
So you think Oklahoma
beats
wins
Clemson,
and wins again?
No. I think Oklahoma beats Clemson. I don't think they beat. I think if they play Michigan State, I think Oklahoma's got a shot. I think Bama wins it all.
I agree.
I think Bama wins it all.
Ooh, I'm not rolling with that one.
I know you don't like to roll with that one, but
let's hear the dissenting opinion.
The tide now rolling. Shout out to one of my favorite brethren in arms here at Yahoo Sports, Algernon Toby. I'm actually
such
rolling.
A suck up.
I'm actually rolling with. I'm rolling with Michigan State to beat Bama on the simple fact that Michigan State always has some great late game heroics, even against them in the fluke call versus Nebraska, but against Michigan and against Iowa, just like one play
and Ohio State
turns everything for them. Yeah, and against the Buckeyes. So
that really wasn't one play. That was 22 plays over 9 minutes.
But that LJ Scott touchdown that hardly ever happens.
It was extremely impressive, and I agree with you on that. But I don't think they have the firepower really to, and I don't think they've played a team like Bama.
Which is also true, but if you caught that Bama game, the first half was owned by Florida. Granted, Florida didn't win. They kind of got blown out in the second half, but that's because they ran out of gas. Michigan State's not going to run out of gas, and I feel like if it comes down to one of those lucky plays, it'll be on Michigan State's side. And Lane Kiffin will find a way to be driving down the field and then turn to page 296 of the playbook and call something that they haven't practiced since week 1 and confuse everybody, and it all goes down in flames. So Sparty wins.
Fab, what do you think?
I can't argue with anything JP just said. I think that a lot of great cases, but I still just think Alabama wins. I have no reason to back it up. I just think Alabama still wins.
I'm going both upsets. I'm going Clemson and Michigan State.
Coming from the guy who wanted to, you said last week, see the Oklahoma-Alabama matchup so bad.
But that's not. I'm not Condoleezza Rice or Long or any of these guys who picked the bracket.
Right.
I wanted to see that game first, and then Clemson would have been playing Michigan State in another game, which still would have been competitive. But I see that they're trying to have that matchup happen in the final for, of course, dollar purposes. But that game should be the first game. But I digress.
So 3 votes for Bama, 1 for Michigan State. We'll find out in over a month, gentlemen. So
man, we gotta wait.
We'll have to be
I can't wait.
Are you taking Clemson?
I'm excited about. No, I'm taking Bama.
No. What about the other game?
Flip a coin. I think whoever wins between Michigan State and Alabama wins the national.
Dan hates us.
You're not Clemson. He doesn't hate you.
You got to pick both games.
You're chocolate.
Yeah.
He just doesn't.
He doesn't like
you.
chocolate.
Well, at least the world knows now.
I'll agree with Brandon in that Clemson's luck's going to run out here at some point. So I'll take Oklahoma and I'll take Alabama.
Maybe when we get to the Cure Bowl, he'll actually have something to say.
Speaking of which, let's jump into some of these other bowl
Smooth
games.
segue.
What non-New Year's Six bowl are you guys most excited for?
Easily the Valero Alamo Bowl. There might be 125 points scored in that football game.
Is that TCU Oregon?
That is correct. The dynamic quarterback battle between Trayvon Boykin and Vernon Adams. I'm so ready for that game.
Yeah, remember the Alamo Bowl. I was going to go with that, so I'll just bring one up for non-football purposes that I think is a hysterical matchup. The Las Vegas Bowl between BYU and Utah.
I think that'll be entertaining.
I'm not talking about the football, though.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You got to think the
You
city of
bring
Las
on-
Vegas was really disappointed that those two fan bases
yeah.
are the ones going to Vegas for this bowl
They're gonna
game.
be spending all
Maybe some of the Mormons are gonna go gamble.
Not much.
You never know.
The gentlemen's clubs will not be seeing very much.
That is
Probably
part
not.
of
The boom will be
business.
dry.
On the JP points tip, I'm gonna go with the Russell Athletic Bowl, UNC and Baylor.
That was a
I
good
think
one, too.
that one will be a nice up and down.
Contingent upon which healthy Baylor quarterback shows up.
It doesn't matter. As long as they've got one. Even if they play that fourth string guy, that was still entertaining to watch. Him try to come back and almost come back against Texas.
Fair
RG3's got eligibility.
He does.
Wow.
And he's not doing anything.
You guys don't know that.
You got inside info
yeah,
here?
Yeah, what? Is RG3
Don't-
suiting up this weekend?
Don't sleep on the $16 million man.
Dan?
Dan?
I'll be
Cure?
in a Santa suit
Yes.
watching the
Curing?
the Cure Bowl on December 19th, 4 p.m. Pacific. People, the 5-7 Sparty, the lower
The
tier
other
Sparty, the Spartans, taking on Georgia State in their first ever bowl appearance.
Wait a second. Is this on pay-per-view?
Not
No.
quite. CBS.
No, that's a different bowl game. That's
You
on
can't stream
pay-per-view.
it, people.
The
So make sure
Tucson
you're
Bowl.
tuned to
CBS Sports Network. Let's be clear about that. This is not a network television.
No, it is not.
Bowl game.
It is not. Didn't even get the ESPN cut.
Will Melanie Collins be on the
I
sideline?
was gonna
There's actually a
ask the same
chance.
thing, yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me
We
if she
should.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Mel hasn't missed a single podcast episode. Holla at us, Mel.
All right.
Sark?
Yeah, let's move on to Sark.
Yeah.
Ev, what's going on with Sark?
Well, he's going to court. That's what's going on. He's suing USC for $30 million. His attorney is claiming that alcoholism in the state of California is a disability, and that's the reason why he got kicked to the curb.
Wow.
According to Alan Lowensohn,
Cheers, Sark.
alcoholism is a recognized disability under California law, so firing somebody because of that disability is against the law. Sark fired back on October 12th. Pat Hayden had already kind of given him a little break. He came back, and now he is suing Pat Hayden for a lot of money.
JP?
I mean, this
You're-
clearly
you're-
shows that Sark is still drunk. Like that's all that is. It just shows that you are still under the influence. You got fired for something, and now you're suing someone for the reason that you were fired for. He's gonna pay more in legal fees, like in retainer fees for his quote unquote lawyers, his legal team, than he'll ever get out of this settlement from USC.
Well, suing for breach of contract, breach of implied covenant of good faith, failure to accommodate discrimination on the basis of disability, retaliation, violation of confidentiality of medical info, and more. That's according to TMZ.
Does it say how he came up with that number?
It definitely does not.
Well,
So
let's
why
see.
pick-
He
I
had
mean,
the remainder
He
of
was
his
drunk.
Exactly.
The remainder of his contract was at least $12.6 million, according to this.
So you trying to double that and then add on your lawyer fees? Nah, it doesn't work like that.
No, I mean potential future salary. I mean, you throw that in there.
With who?
If you
At
continue to win
a high school?
bonuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, where at a JUCO?
He got fired because he
Servite.
went 12-6 in a recruiting hotbed.
Yeah, like he got
That's
fired
why
because
he
he
got
sucks.
fired. Yeah, he got fired because he was a bad head coach.
You got fired because you're a loser.
The fact that he was an alcoholic just kind of tipped the scales a little
He
bit.
dealt with those sanctions too, in the back end of that.
He didn't deal with them very well.
No, but he had to deal with them.
That's no excuse.
I mean, you saw what
Not saying it's an
you saw
excuse,
what the
just
guy
saying.
did who came in, after him. What he did with the same exact team, he got them, back to fruition. They won the South, so he was just a bad coach.
So they settle. Or do they go to court?
nah, he could take
I
it to
think
court and he
so.
could draw it out and get no cash. He doesn't deserve any money. Well, the losers get
Agreed,
paid.
But in a lot of cases, they'll come to some sort of.
Can the university afford to get dragged through
Now
a suit like this?
come on, now USC got all type of fortitude. Okay,
Fair.
no back down, no surrender.
I think that should be the title of this podcast. Losers get paid? Question mark.
Done.
Yeah, man, fair enough. Is he still in rehab? Maybe he should go back because clearly he hasn't learned anything.
That's an awful lot of money, although. I
Yeah,
guess you're going
that's
for
a
the jugular there.
ridiculous amount of. He's shooting high so he could try to settle somewhere. In the
The
middle.
sad thing is that he should actually be
That's a
paying
really
USC
bad
money
neg-
back.
It's a
He
bad
should be giving money
negotiating
back,
tactic.
being as he stole money.
Well, he shouldn't have gotten paid for the whole year. I would assume he didn't.
Yeah, I pray his contract was prorated.
I would think. All right, let's move on to the big ceremony this weekend. Heisman Trophy finalists. Brandon, run through our candidates here. Who do we have?
From Alabama, you've got Derrick Henry
Yes.
leading the charge, so to speak, and then from Stanford, the all-everything guy, Christian McCaffrey, and then Clemson's quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
JP, who do you like here?
I have an issue with Heisman voting. Just for the simple fact that we don't know the criteria. You know, when other leagues vote for MVPs, they can throw up a graphic that shows this is what you need to do to be like most valuable player. And college, we never know why someone wins the Heisman. We just see the number of votes tally that they got. But how'd you get there? What was the process? So is it the actual MVP of college football? Is it the best player at said position? Like how do you actually win? There was the freshman biases with Bush back in the day, like, oh, you're not going to give it to a freshman, and yada, yada. So in this year, it started to get on the soapbox. I'm going with Deshaun Watson because if it's the best player in college football, it would be him because if you take him off of Clemson, they're no good. If you take Derrick Henry off of Alabama, they still ball out. If you take Christian McCaffrey, although his all-purpose yards are amazing, Stanford doesn't suck. But if you take Deshaun Watson off of Clemson, they're not a great football team. So I believe he should win. Will he? I highly doubt it, but he'll get my vote.
Yeah.
To bring the official wording into it, if you want to look at the Heisman Trust mission statement, they say they annually recognize the outstanding college football player whose performance best exhibits the pursuit of excellence with integrity. Winners epitomize great ability combined with diligence, perseverance, and hard work. So, yeah, what the hell does that really mean?
That's so gray area.
Yeah, very gray. So, my personal vote, I like McCaffrey. I think if you look at what he did overall throughout the season, he had the late push, was kind of quiet, wasn't really an early season candidate. But to your point, JP, the argument of putting him on any other team, I think he can do that almost anywhere. And I think Stanford suffers more maybe than you think if he's not there. So I'll go with McCaffrey. And you also look...
They won't suffer as much as Clemson would in the ACC, though.
Right. Well, if you take, for example, Henry's numbers compared to some other running backs in recent years who have similar stats, they finished fourth or even worse in the Heisman Trophy balloting. Yeah. There's brand name bias with the Alabama running back.
Pretty much.
Well, I just think there's not a lot of other top-level guys to kind of squash Henry down further because he has those same numbers. There hasn't been any other standout. I mean, Fournette was the front runner for a long time, and then the whole LSU thing just kind of fell apart. I agree McCaffrey should get more credit than he's getting, and I think Watson does too. It's probably going to go to Henry just based on the Bama factor, and I can't stand that. So then again, it's not really a, who's the best player or who follows that criteria. It's just who the voters, and who are these voters and who they get to vote for, and so it just becomes kind of like a popularity contest again. But the thing I wanted to mention is shame on the voters for not at least getting Keenan Reynolds in the top 4, top 3 or whatever. I get that he plays for Navy, and I get that he's a running quarterback.
He's a baller. But
that kid, what he's done, not just this year, but his entire career.
All 4 years.
I get that it's not a lifetime achievement award, but that guy. And not only what he's done on the field, but the fact that he's going to then go and serve our country. It's a shame that he doesn't at least get recognized and be able to be there with those guys because he's just as talented as those guys.
My question when we talk about Henry is it because a running back can't? And this is just a question to you guys. Is it because a running back that's not in the SEC just because he's not in the SEC doesn't have the resume? I mean, the last running back to win
Cook
was...
should have been on there. Dalvin Cook is the best running back, not Leonard Fournette or Derrick Henry. And just because Dalvin Cook was hurt,
Cook's going to be up there
next
year. Cook's going to be up there next year.
He didn't get any love, but Dalvin Cook is arguably, you could argue that he is the best running back in college football. Even at 75-80%, he balled against everyone.
But McCaffrey had 100 less rushing yards than Henry did this year, and he had return yards and receiving yards as well.
That's where he makes his money.
That's why I'm saying that McCaffrey deserves
13 the last 15 Heisman winners quarterbacks. The last running back, Ingram from Alabama, right? So my question to you is, will a running back from another conference be able to win the Heisman?
I think you're right. It's tough because I think they look at his numbers in the SEC and they say, well, it was against the SEC, so they got to be even better, or there's some just some way to translate that as well. He had 1,900 against the SEC. That would have been 2,500 in any other conference, and I think that's an unfair assessment. But I think that's probably what they're thinking in regards to that.
Well, to go back to your question, Dan, Reggie Bush was vacated, but he won it
USC,
in the Pac-10.
But
USC.
he should have won the year before he won the Heisman.
I'm trying to remember who.
Leinart. It was Leinart. But he deserved it the year that Leinart won. And then they gave the whole argument, well, he's a freshman, and freshmen don't normally win the Heisman, which goes back to me.
He was a sophomore that year.
Well, he's a sophomore the year he won, but wasn't he a freshman
the junior
before?
year he won.
Okay, so a sophomore. Well, it wasn't his first year playing, though, because remember, he was like a bench warmer.
True.
So I get it. It's not technically a freshman, but a first-year player, which leads me to I don't trust the trust. So maybe the trust should help us be more trusting and give us criteria. This is how you get a first-place vote for the Heisman, so people can understand, all right, I get how you got from point A to point B.
Step 1, play in the SEC.
I mean, it seems like that's it.
Yeah.
But then, although looking back at these teams, these guys that have won the Heisman in the last 5 years,
here's the
just
thing,
Manziel.
JP, do you want Deshaun? If you're Deshaun Watson, do you want to win the Heisman? Quarterbacks who win the Heisman, not so good at the next level.
I mean, but he deserves it if you're going to.
It's almost like a kiss of death. Last quarterback to win the Heisman that was worth a darn, Carson Palmer.
Nah, RG3 was type before he got hurt.
Oh,
yeah, Cam Newton was the MVP.
Sorry, Cam, but before that, Carson Palmer.
Troy Smith has a Super Bowl ring.
Stop.
He has a ring.
Stop.
Hey, a winner's a winner.
Stop.
So, Derrick Henry wins a Heisman. Is that kind of
I think that's probably the
prediction?
consensus.
That's what will happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm with you, Ev. I think I'd probably vote for McCaffrey, but we'll find out this weekend.
Can't wait.
Let's turn our attention to the NBA. All-Star voting opens today, in fact, for the NBA All-Star Game in 2016. Evan, what's the commish got to say?
Well, Adam Silver came out on Thursday on Sirius XM Radio and said that Kobe Bryant deserves to be at the All-Star Game in Toronto on Valentine's Day. Clearly a little bit of love there for Kobe.
Does Adam Silver does he know the functioning definition of deserve?
I think he does, but remember the NBA All-Star Game is based on fan voting.
Right.
And how many times has Kobe been voted in while he's been hurt? Every year.
Yeah.
So I don't think he deserves it. I mean, he hasn't earned a playoff berth with his performance this season thus far.
I mean, the stats don't lie. You're right, but I think if a league says fans can vote and he gets voted in, then he quote unquote deserves to be there because the fans voted him in.
Well,
it's a popularity contest,
which is fine. Adam Silver should just allow the process to take place and not tell people who deserves and who doesn't deserve to be in the game.
He's basically campaigning for Kobe so that he gets his send-off, right? Is that what we're...
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing, and I agree with you, JP. I mean, why say it if he's probably going to get voted in anyway, regardless of how he's performing?
Yeah, Yao Ming missed 2 full seasons and was he broke records for votes because it's a popular vote, and no one was like, Yao Ming doesn't deserve to play. It was like, actually, Yao Ming has the most votes ever, and he is a starter, although he's on injured reserve, so there'll be somebody in his spot. And no one ever said, well, Yao Ming deserves to be in there because he's making the NBA so much money.
Was that lost in translation, you think, on the ballot?
No, I don't. I think that it came down from the top of the government. Like, look, all of you guys are going to vote for Yao Ming or nobody eats. And then everyone acted accordingly because, people got to eat.
Oh, terrible.
Will anybody be disappointed if Kobe plays in the All-Star game?
Yes, because they'll throw up a bunch of air balls.
I don't care. It's a popular.
It's gonna be 170 to 160.
Let the guy have. Let the guy have it. I mean, he's getting his. Let him have his tour.
This is the
like Jeter, like Ripken.
It'll be his 18th All-Star game.
It's street ball, shoot it.
He might actually have his best game of the year in that game.
Well, I mean, actually,
they'll let him play 40 minutes.
I was going to say, based on how bad he misses his shots and the fact that it's basically an alley-oop contest anyway, it could just look like he's throwing up alley-oops all night.
But the second half is serious. So what happens in the second half? Because remember when Jordan balled in 2003, he hit a go-ahead shot in the first overtime to send him in the second overtime. He finished with 20 points, and that was old MJ on the Wizards, washed. And he still balled out.
Who are the coaches this year? Is it Kerr and
Maybe Luke Walton?
Well, now I guess Luke Walton. Yeah,
Bill Walton's son.
So he's gonna. Hey, he played with Kobe, so he's gonna give him some PT in the crunch.
It should be Luke against Bill. Those should be the coaches.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Mic'd up live. And not have to listen to the announcers.
LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Never gonna let him live that down.
All right, the interesting story in baseball. Brandon, what you got?
I don't understand why I got this one, but
Somebody loaded it in there. I figured it was
know.
That was me. I'll read it.
yeah.
I loaded it.
yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't understand why my name was above it, and I was like, I guess I'll read it. And it's like you guys are taking shots at me.
No. That's my fault.
So,
I thought you put
all right, I'll read it since I posted it in the rundown here. The story this week from the New York Daily News is that apparently a player in Major League Baseball applied for an exemption for a drug that seeks treatment for gynecomastia, which in layman terms is man boobs.
Thanks, guys.
No, I'm serious.
God. I mean, I'm not that out of shape.
The player
Hey, man, play him your Exos video from last year.
Yes.
Let these cats know how you get down.
Edit point.
player was not named who applied, but he did get permission to use said drug. The question to you guys is, which player was it?
God, if David Wells was still in the league, I'd say it was him.
See, I'm trying to think if it's actually a fat player.
That's
or,
what I was thinking.
Or it's somebody who, probably was juicing in
Well, that's what it was, essentially. Is
And,
that he used steroids.
a terrible variable is that he grew breast disease.
Prince Fielder?
Oh,
Nah, he don't take. He's too big.
yeah.
So you think it has to be a guy who was
Roided?
using this,
Who was on-
who
yeah.
roided and was using this to
Yeah,
mask
and I
it?
think, yeah.
Let's go A-Rod.
I hope and
Is
pray
it Braun?
that it was A-Rod.
I don't know
Could be
who it
Braun.
is.
We don't know who it
it's
is.
unknown who it is.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be fun to throw out some names.
It's crazy.
But I mean, Pablo Sandoval's got to be on the list.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Nah, Fat Panda's just fat.
yeah,
Poppy?
he is, but he's also probably got man
Yeah.
boobs.
I told you my Fat Panda story. Like he just
Bartolo?
likes to eat, so I don't think he's even tripping. No. Not off of outward appearance, not at all.
Any of the Molinas?
So, I mean,
I don't know how many
we
of
can
them are
keep
left in the
guessing,
league,
but is there anybody
watch
have a
it be
problem
watch
with
it be like some speedy small center fielder.
this? Who just happened to grow
Yeah,
boobs?
like Ben Revere or something like that. Like some guy who's like 5'11", just really fast, but just has a man boob problem.
Jeez.
Why was this on the banned substance list to begin with? Does it do something
Well,
else
it's a
for you?
steroid.
It must give you a competitive edge somehow. I mean, Viagra's on there. So,
Yeah, I mean, the story does say that it is sometimes a side effect of hardcore steroid use. So
That's why.
yeah, there you go.
Brandon,
Any other guesses?
find this guy and have him come to Elite Fitness, okay, on 377 MacArthur, and maybe you can help him out. You can throw him under the bench press, man. Show him the ropes. Get him on the pec deck. Have him do some push-ups. It can all be fixed naturally, okay? He can be cosmetically beautiful without having to go under the knife. Just extend your services, sir. Mr. Elite Fitness 510, help.
If you have any guesses on who the man boobs player is, tweet at us at the
It is-
Bullpen Pod.
That's sad.
Interesting, somewhat interesting story from college basketball. I don't know if you guys saw this. Wednesday night, Michigan State took on the highly competitive Maryland Eastern Shore. And the student section, sometimes you're in a basketball game, they'll count down the shot clock a few seconds early. The students will do that. Well, it worked against Maryland Eastern Shore, and then it worked again and again and again and again. 5 times they got them on that, and it psyched them out so much that then the next time they came down, shot clock violation.
Yeah.
But maybe think about like being in a student section, and you guys cheer for schools that have many more people in attendance than I do. So any interesting or traditions for student sections at ASU in
Tortillas?
basketball or football?
They were banned or
Yeah,
they had been banned.
they were banned at some point. So football,
Yeah.
the tradition was tortillas. You bring tortillas in when you scored a touchdown, people would throw them in the air. That started in probably, I think, the late 80s.
90s.
Late 90s.
96.
One of the personal stories I remember was 2005. We were ranked 18th or 15th. USC came to town, number 1. That was the liner. Reggie Bush, Lendale White.
Squad.
It was a 12:30 kickoff, October 1st. And for some stupid reason, they gave out Tapatio hot sauce.
Oh, that was so dumb.
As people were walking into the stadium. It was like the giveaway of the day or some reason. So, again, 12:30 kick, October 1st in the Valley.
Still,
It was 100 degrees.
it was 105 on the field.
Muy caliente.
Yeah. But what some idiots decided to do, I mean, we'd all been drinking all morning, but some dude took the bottle, took the top off it, and just started going, yeah, started shaking it around, and hot sauce is flying everywhere, like in the air. Like some people got it in their eyes. It was like all in their clothes.
What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, it was. I was cussing out a dude behind me.
ASU got turnt before turnt was a thing.
Wow. Hot sauce in the eyeballs
So they were
at
giving out
100
bottles.
degrees.
Oh yeah, they were
was
like
bottles.
little bottles.
Wow.
Bottles of
Not
hot
just like
sauce.
that.
Hey, I mean, we went up 21-3. I mean,
And then what happened?
And then the hot sauce wore off.
and then Lendale and Reggie got spicy on us.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a very sad, depressing story.
Yeah.
Well, and ASU now has the curtain of distraction, which I think is really cool for
basketball.
It's not a very great home court. It's kind of old and needs some upgrades here or there, but the curtain of distraction has been cool, and it's starting to get like some national pub when they have games on TV, and it's just kind of entertaining. Like I don't know if it really has an effect on the free throw shooters, but
Sounds like something that Sark could use right now.
yeah. Yeah, that'd actually be great. You open up the curtain of distraction while you're shooting a free throw, and then there's Sark. When they play USC at home, that's what they should do. Pay Sark some money. Be like, hey, just show him a bottle of vodka and see if he'll show up, and then just have him stand behind the curtain. You can just be like, "Arr."
That shot clock trick isn't new though.
No, it's not new, but it's
how
just
do
funny
you
that happened
fall for
5
that, though?
times.
Well, it's Maryland
It's-
Eastern Shore, so they probably
up-
got a bunch of like community college kids who didn't get into College
But it's
Park.
above the basket and pretty much every arena. Like you go in there and you do shoot around. You look around for the clock. And you have 30 seconds. You should at least maybe glance up there every so often. I'm not saying stare at it because someone's going to steal the ball from you, but I just understand how that happens.
5 times.
I'd
That's
be
coaching.
I'd be
Call
looking
a
at the
timeout.
clock.
Be like, don't listen
nonstop.
to them. Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
My favorite was at Cole Fieldhouse. Shout out to all the OGs in College Park when Gary Williams was the coach of the Terps, and in the crowd they do the da 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 hey, but at the Terps games in Cole Fieldhouse it was probably 100 degrees because there was no AC. It was packed as human in Maryland. They go da 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 hey, you suck, but they would be looking at the opposite fans and then they start pointing you and you and you and you. But it's extremely humid in here, so people are already agitated. The seats are extra close, so then the fights break out, and it was just always the coolest thing to watch. Like, you guys came to lose the basketball game, and now you're getting whooped in the crowd. All bad. Shout out the Terps, the old Terps, the Gary Williams Terps. Those were the days.
Gary Williams, I loved him watching him. He'd sweat through his suit in like 10 minutes.
But if you would sweat through everything you had on in 5 once you enter Cole Fieldhouse and they close those doors. I've never been in a hotter place that wasn't the sauna in my life, especially to watch a sporting event.
Cameron
Extremely
Indoor is pretty
uncomfortable.
warm, but I haven't been to Cole Fieldhouse.
I mean, that's probably why they don't do anything in Cole Fieldhouse anymore,
Yeah.
because it was a hazard.
Eb, you want to talk pop?
Pop, a soda pop?
Pop a shot?
Pop or no? Greg Popovich apparently said, I found this hysterical because it's like your annoying uncle, what he would say about, he says he hates the 3-point line. Still hates it. He said, I think it's kind of a circus sort of thing. Why don't we have a 5-point shot, a 7-point shot? Where does it stop, that sort of thing?
Pop wants that rock and jock rules.
I was just
gonna
going to
say,
say,
yeah,
Rocket
is this-
Jock,
is
can we
this
get the
MTV?
trampolines
Get
out there?
Dan Cortese, Bill Bellamy out there. Let's do it.
You had Cal Ripken Jr. and Brian McKnight in your squad too, Pop. What's up?
Yeah.
Brian McKnight.
Really? Like, I get it. Kind of. But, dude, it's 2015. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to take away the 3-point line.
I don't think he has he doesn't make any sense. The only thing that they may change is if you hit a full court shot, maybe that should be more than 3 points. Maybe.
Yes.
Like
Because
beyond the half court
it
line.
hardly ever happens. So if you hit the shot, people that hoop know from the orange line on the opposite goal, like you deserve maybe more than 3 points, but 5-point shot, 7-point shot, nah, just. And he's got a bunch of 3-point shooters on his team. So
Exactly.
what is he really arguing here? So does he want them to just shoot all free throw line and under, all elbow shots? I don't understand.
Well, he's even made the point that every time that they've won a title, the 3-point shot had a lot to do with it, that they shot well. I mean, that series against Miami a couple years ago,
Yeah.
same deal. They had 3-point shooters. Kawhi Leonard leads the league right now technically in 3-point percentage.
Yeah. And if Danny Green ever finds out how to shoot a basketball again, he might be up there as well.
He needs to do it for my fantasy team.
You watch what you say about Danny Green.
There would be no UNC slander on this podcast.
At least not yet. Not until they blow it in the tournament.
Fair enough.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Pop, you also might be under the influence, sir. Have a seat.
That caught my eye, but
How awesome would that show be? Pop and Sark hanging out at the bar.
Oh, boy.
I think
And then Bill Walton's the bartender.
You would never get a drink.
That is comedy gold right there. NBC, ABC, CBS, whoever, get on that. That's fantastic.
Oh, man.
You don't even have to write the show.
We need to call in 40 because for some reason 40 loves Bill Walton. Like, he loves the high speak. Like, he's one of Bill Walton's biggest fans.
Great. Bill Walton is fantastic. He's highly entertaining.
Man, that fool smoked himself silly back in the 70s, and he's been wrong ever since.
Entertaining, man. That's all I need.
All right, this week's quiz show. Sports Illustrated released this article. This is one we held over from last week because we didn't have time to get to it. But so here's the premise of this, and we'll have you guys guess on what you think these are. These are the top 10 sports records of all time.
But it's voted on by Sports Illustrated, so I feel like they might hate.
No, actually, this is a research team from Villanova and Temple. They're statisticians, right? Wow. Hold on a second. I know Sports Illustrated published it, and it's the top 10 sports records based on various metrics like how long they think it will stand.
Oh, okay.
The percentage or the distance between the person behind them, etc. What era they played in. So I take some guesses here.
I got the first three.
Take some guesses here of the top 10 sports records.
JP's like that guy on Jeopardy that keeps hitting the buzzer
Before the question's even finished.
I know one of them. One of them got to be the 100-point game. Well, Wilt Chamberlain, because Steph could break it, but he may never because he's too nice of a guy.
That's tough.
Number 7 on the list.
I was going to say that was on my list.
7.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Okay, I'm cool. I'm tight.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one.
Did you just buzz yourself?
Nah. The next one. Ooh, your boy who just got the hitting job. Barry Bonds' intentional walks will never be broken.
Number 1.
Wait, the
Never.
home runs or intentional walks?
Intentional walks. Number 1 on the list.
Walks.
Is Kyle Ripken on there? Iron Man? I mean, no one's going to break that. Consecutive games?
That's actually 17, not in the top 10.
Well, how?
Gretzky, points.
Gretzky is on the list for assists at 1,963.
That's pretty scary because I think the next closest guy is at what, like 900?
Where on the list?
Not even.
It's number 9 on the list.
All right, so it's Villanova, so we got to think different. So we have to go back to, like, what, baseball?
Phelps, Olympic medals? No.
Doesn't Nolan Ryan have a strikeout record that won't be broke, maybe?
Nolan Ryan is on the list, but not for strikeouts.
What is he on there for? Wins?
No hitters?
7 no-hitters.
Okay.
Number 2.
A Nolan Ryan record, and I'm out.
I was going to say Byron Nelson consecutive wins. No.
Not even on your...
Ted Williams?
Really? Okay.
Ted Williams is at number 12 for on-base percentage.
On base percentage.
Okay, I'll start on...
Wait a second. Pablo Sandoval, consecutive burritos consumed.
Number 4, JP. Number 4.
Damn, JP, you were right.
Man, buzz me in.
Pretty good. I'll start at number 10, and we can just go up the list here. Norm Van Brocklin single-game passing yards from 1951, 554 yards in a game. I believe it was for the Rams or the St. Louis team.
Thank you, Villanova, for that.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky at number 9. Number 8. Anybody else want to make any baseball guesses? There's 2 from this guy.
Well, DiMaggio's. No one said DiMaggio.
DiMaggio's number 3 for 56.
See, I had that on my list here. You can see it right there.
Yep.
I just didn't say it because I'm an idiot.
Number 8, Cy Young, career complete games, 749.
That's tough, yeah.
Number 7 was Wilt. Number 6, Cy Young career wins at 511.
No one's going to touch that.
Number 5, Oscar Robertson season triple doubles. 41.
The Bucks Big O.
41.
Yeah.
Number 4, Jim Bottomley's single game RBIs at 12.
Yeah,
That's number 4. And then DiMaggio, Nolan Ryan, and Barry Bonds. Any contentious? Anything you're surprised that's left
That's
off?
wild that there's so many baseball records.
I'm glad I got number 1.
I was going to say I'm not surprised by that because you'd said before the taping it was going to go back to 1900, and I figured it's going to be a lot of those very early dead ball baseball numbers that are just ridiculous, and that would be ranked pretty high because how are you going to top any of those?
Kyle Ripken is ridiculous, period. He's got perfect attendance for like 22 years at his job.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's not higher.
Well, he got lucky one night that happened.
Man,
Had some people behind his back.
Kevin Costner, you better be cool.
Interesting stuff.
That was good. I like that.
The commenters on the
Miami
they were saying,
Marlins
how
hitting
could it-
coach Barry Bonds, number one.
One time for the greatest hitter of all time, Barry Lamar Bonds.
the commenters were like, how
Sun
could
Devil?
a walks record be number one? Well,
Because it'll never be broke.
it will never
Never, ever.
be broke.
That might be the only one that doesn't get touched.
My computer froze. Evan, take us.
Wow, beautiful.
I mean, it happened. I can't do anything about it.
Technology. All right, this week's version of Ask JP, our new friend, the Mason Report, with a question here. 2 questions, actually, for JP. We'll go with the first one. Which AFC team is in the best shape to earn a wild card berth? You look at the standings there. You got the Jets in the running at 6. You got the Chiefs, who have won 6 in a row, at 5. And then on the outside right now, as we tape looking in, the Steelers 7-5, Bills 6-5. The Texans still
6-5.
alive. 6-5, excuse me.
Yep,
And then you
the
got the
Raiders.
Raiders still in the hunt as well. JP.
I think it ends up being the Steelers. But if the Steelers win a division, will it be a wild card?
Well, they might play in a wild card
if
game, but
if they don't win the division, because the Bengals right now are number 1.
Correct. And
there's only
and they're going to have head-to-head.
4 games left. 4 games left.
4
correct.
games left, and the Steelers play the Bengals
on
this
Sunday.
weekend.
but
Yeah.
they're down 3. They're 3 games back, right? So
Right.
I think it'll be Pittsburgh with their with the young man there who plays quarterback is hot. They have arguably the greatest receiving core in football. D'Angelo Williams is balling. Defense is playing.
I mean,
very
Marcus
well.
Wheaton could start for most teams, and he's their 3rd guy.
Correct.
I think he's easily, or the Steelers are easily the team in the AFC. Right now, you probably really do not want to
Yeah,
play.
because they're making that run.
Exactly.
So I will go with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Clifford
Well,
Mason.
and their last 2 games are Ravens and Browns.
So that should be 2 easy victories.
So
with a
basically,
ton
they're
of points
9-5
scored.
right now.
And I
have
think
2
the
games.
Chiefs get in too because they also get to play the Ravens and Browns in the final 4 games. So the Ravens and Browns will be a big key to the AFC wild card playoff picture.
Well, and then the other 2 games for the Chiefs are the
Chargers
and
and
Raiders, both
which-
at home.
Which are, yeah.
yeah,
So
3 of 4 at home to close out
if
for
the
the Chiefs there.
don't make the playoffs, then Andy Reid should probably be fired.
Yeah, I agree. The Chiefs Steelers there is looking pretty good in the AFC. All right, the other question from the Mason Report: will or should the Cleveland Browns draft a QB in the draft this season? Right now, they are the number 1 overall pick, I believe.
Don't they have 24 different quarterbacks?
I want to know why they have not actually started selling that jersey that has the list of 24 quarterback
Quarterbacks
names
on
on
it.
the back of it, all with number 2. Because really, the number should be 0, and then there should be the list of names.
You know who my favorite quarterback of that group is? Spurgeon Wynn.
Yeah, great name. Excellent name.
I don't think
Just
they should
throwing that
draft
one
a
out there,
quarterback, but they will. Because
Paxton Lynch.
they have zero faith
Sean
in Johnny
King.
Manziel.
Sean
they have
King thinks
zero
they should
faith
draft
in him.
Paxton Lynch.
But then the Browns would do something ridiculous and draft like Jared Goff instead of drafting
Yeah.
Paxton Lynch. Or they'll try to be cute and be like, well, actually, we're going to take a chance. We're going to go with the dynamic Trayvon Boykin. But then not call any plays that suit Trayvon
They'll
Boykin's
sit him
strong
under
suit.
center and
Yeah, he'll never be in shotgun. He'll never
Yeah.
run anything spread. Like, they'll want him to drop back in 5-step sets and throw the ball down the football field. Like, all right,
like they would draft Joey Bosa and make him a safety.
that's the Cleveland way.
Could you see them doing a thing like your Washington team did a couple years ago? Take a quarterback very early in the first round, take another one like a Trayvon Boykin in 4th, 5th round later, and then have that situation develop.
Maybe, but their offense is so vanilla, so I don't think that they would have the foresight. I'm pretty sure that Snyder, not himself, but everybody in the front office knew that if Shanahan runs RG3 into the ground, we'll need something behind him that can help us win. And then it actually came to fruition when they did run him into the ground, and then now Kirk is at the helm trying to win the NFC. So I don't think they should draft a quarterback. I mean, you drafted Johnny Manziel, who is dynamic. Granted, he's had some off-the-field issues, but a lot of players have. Call some plays to Johnny's strength. Call some QB rollouts because he's short. You don't want him dropping in 5-step, 3-step drop. He's not going to throw slants to the house. Like, get him out in space. Give him some option plays. But they've called none of those and then turn around and say, well, he's a bad quarterback and he's not moving the offense well enough. Like, is that really Johnny Football's fault? I mean, he doesn't call his own plays.
That's perfect timing.
Thanks, B. Murray.
Audio man, Christopher Walken.
All right, so no, they may draft a quarterback, but I guess we'll.
I mean, there's a high percentage chance that they will, but they shouldn't.
So what happens if Manziel actually shows up these last 4 games?
Then they won't.
But I mean, like, does he get the starting job, or is he still gonna have to compete with somebody?
I think
they
he'll
bring in
still
somebody.
have to compete.
Yeah.
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 Because you still got to go through an offseason.
This is like exactly audition. Let's do it.
And he loves to party a lot, so it's unfortunate.
Fair enough.
You get your computer back?
I got it back.
Okay, got it.
Oh,
It is,
just in time.
Just in time for one of our favorite segments. It's one of our favorite times of year.
Where we all gather
JP.
around the
We all
fire.
gather around the fire to listen to tales of days gone by from JP. JP, our question for you this week. This is the cuffing season, and as such, what sort of gifts do you get for your cuffing season selection?
Man, you usually give gifts based on performance. Okay, so a lot of people, this is cool because a lot of people who I know and a lot of homies will have some young ladies, asking for like a Louis bag, but they got Coach bag performance. So you get kind of what you deserve. But this year, I think that if you're a part of cuffing season and there's no immediate needs in the material world, you should go with some books, man, like some wealth development. Maybe some of these women can help you, diversify your portfolio and some stocks or help you make some money. So I'm out here at Barnes & Noble, Amazon Prime, getting books, trying to make people better. So next year, your squad can be as strong as ever, and then you can make some dollars. Because remember, America's not a country.
It's a business.
There we go. Okay, get those cuffing season people books, man. Knowledge is power, and wealth is power. So man, let's get them up here, man. That handbag is nothing, but that diversified portfolio with those stocks, man, that's everything. You can get generations set.
What sort of gifts have you received on the other side of a?
Man, I'll tell you one that shout out the face. My dad was coaching me one year, and I was going to receive
In a sport or in cuffing season?
Oh, I wish my dad was one of my coaches in sports, but this is full on cuffing season coaching by the general manager face. I almost accepted this Burberry sweater, and I heard it was nice. Then I was like, wait, if I come out of cuffing season and you don't get that contract, then you may come back and ask for that Burberry sweater back, and it could get ugly. So I did not accept it. And then we came out of cuffing season, and the contract was not extended.
That's almost a sad story.
I mean, so I felt like I dodged a bullet. But back in the day, like
Burberry bullet?
Facts, an expensive one.
What if it had been like an Anchor Blue sweater or a FUBU sweater? Would you have like continued? You kept it going?
I would have easily deleted her phone number and deleted her from my life. Anchor Blue or FUBU? Oh, wow.
Trying to give you the option. I mean, I didn't want to.
But no, I mean, I've been gifted some cool stuff. I mean, I'm not really into materials, but like back in the day when I was a sneakerhead, I remember I got a few pair of J's. So the Jordans was cool, some retros. I got some Timbs a couple times. Got some hoodies. I never asked. So
Cuffy got you Jordans?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm probably bad at that. Like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, nothing. Like, well, I need to get you something. Like, I don't know. Be creative. Like, make me a card.
I hate that answer.
Be creative. You don't like that? I mean, if we've been kicking it for this long, you should pretty much know what I like and love. So,
Sure.
And you've seen me, and you like, what do I need? What do you think will be cool? Like, what fits me? And then you should be able to craft your gift like that. So if you don't know, obviously you haven't been paying attention, which means that contract probably won't be extended.
Well, for those listening in for their cuffing season advice, it's books, financial advice this year.
Facts only,
that's
man.
what we're going for.
You got to make those dollars. They'll thank us. They'll thank us next year. Like, you know what? I listened to the Bullpen podcast. Okay, JP was right. I got everybody wealth management books. Now I'm running this productive business. I'm in the black, 6 figures.
JP Buffett.
Yeah, right there.
JP.
Right there.
Okay, that's why I'm repping Team Waveless, because I'm sticking my neck out on a limb. Okay, you need to not be so physical and get intellectual with these people. Okay, that body will die, but that mind is forever.
This is getting real.
Yeah.
Real.
You're welcome.
we all got nothing.
Yeah, I know. I can't top that.
Moving on to this week's random shot. I got an email in my inbox this morning on my way to work that said, buy a 6-pack of Giants tickets and you can have a Madison Bumgarner Nutcracker for this holiday season. And I thought, I would never buy that. But my question for our random shot this week is there a piece of sports memorabilia that any of you guys have that is like maybe your favorite or your most prized?
It's the only thing hanging in my room.
What is it?
It's all white walls except for this one. I've got an autographed picture of the Purple People Eaters. All four.
Nice.
All four of them just standing there with their arms out. Just
Nice.
You know. I got it fairly cheap on eBay, but yeah, I love that thing. That thing's fantastic. So,
Have you got anything?
My lovely fiance last year got me one of the bricks outside Levi's Stadium. So they give you a replica that goes with it. So I got that in front of the TV. That's pretty cool. One of those things, don't really think to get, but when you get it, you're like, that's pretty damn cool. So,
JP, you got anything?
That's actually kind of tight. A+. I got 2.
can I has two?
I got 2. Rest in peace, Uncle Doc. Aaron Lovejoy, my uncle, was on an airplane with one of those Sports Illustrated Phenom Award winners for all-time records, Nolan Ryan. And Nolan Ryan autographed a super dope picture. It's like a big picture, too. It's, like 8.5 by 11 pic. And my uncle framed it. So that's in my house, which is pretty tight. Nice. And shout out to Tyler from CSN Bay Area. His dad is a big memorabilia guru. He got me this for my going away gift when I departed from Comcast, an autographed Redskin Clinton Portis picture. Yeah, so he came through in the clutch with that one. That's tight. Clinton Portis, one of the greatest running backs ever, greatest pass blocking running back of all time. Also had one of the largest necks at the running back position, like 18.5-inch neck. So shout out to CP.
Brandon, do you want to tell your Clinton Portis story when we saw him?
Oh, we saw him at the national championship game a couple years ago. He was in the media lounge, and it was like, 11:30, 12. It was like the late night. There was not a lot of people in there, but like they serve free drinks and everything. And I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go up there and just throw up the U and see if he's down with it. And sure enough, I went over there with, did you take the picture or did Graham Watson take the picture?
I think Graham did.
Yeah. And I just walked up to him and was like, hey, Clinton, can I get a pic? And then sure enough, just threw up the U. He followed suit. It was pretty awesome.
And he was wearing this bright pink, fluorescent pink dress
sweater.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Sweater. Yeah, it was
a sweater. It was fantastic.
God. Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah. I wanted to sit down next to him and ask him a bunch of questions.
Very
about
Miami.
but
shout out to South Florida.
I wasn't drunk enough, so.
All right.
But yeah.
Dano, your piece of memorabilia?
I have a.
It's in front of him.
Yeah, this is it right here. This was gifted. This was gifted to me on my birthday by someone in the room, by Ito. Thanks. No, this is a good. This is good. I don't have anything quite like that. I don't. You know what? I don't.
No
really
Sharks memorabilia.
Not really. The only thing I will say that I have kept prized is a bit of a chronicler. I kept every sports page during. God, in my freshman year of college, which included the World Series run for, actually after that too, for the Giants and for the Sharks when they were in the playoffs, they went to Western Conference Finals. So I have the sports page with all the headlines and pictures. I have those stacked up somewhere. It's not really a great piece of memorabilia. I do have a Joe Pavelski signed USA jersey sitting in my office that I won here last year while all y'all were in Sochi. So that's about it. But I mean, I've never been a big signature guy, autograph guy.
My dad is.
Yeah,
his office, up in their condo, he's just got a crap ton of stuff there. 62 Yankees, all on one baseball. 63 Cardinals too. So it's just
Autographs are tight. Yeah. I get regular people's autographs. If you have a business card, all my friends know. I get your autograph on the back of the business card.
Never know.
For the day that you get famous, I can just throw it on the gram. I know her. I know him.
Throw it on the gram.
If any of you guys want a Madison Bumgarner Nutcracker,
I will let you know.
Pass. Pass.
All right, well, first and foremost, we are all fans here in the bullpen. Let's take a look at our teams this week. Vikings-Cardinals is probably
kicking off in about...
Probably done by the
time you're listening to this, the game will be over, but I'll...
So your thoughts on the game?
It's going to be a slaughter. I think I'm going to go 31-6. Cardinals.
Reverse jinx.
No. This is not a reverse jinx. This is I watched them play last week. They're missing 4 starters on defense. They're going to play they're starting 4 rookies on defense tonight against one of the best offenses in the league.
Do you just want to hit the heat now?
On a short. No. That's why I'm
got a bottle
wearing the. This team makes me drink. No, I got a bottle of Captain sitting at home waiting for me.
Nice.
It's going to be done by the end of this evening. And, yeah, just so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it's going to be brutal.
So Vikings Cardinals, that's a Thursday night, and 31-6 is the call. So after the game, when you hear this, you can see if he was right or wrong.
Yeah.
49ers against the Fighting Manziels. Ev, what do you think?
I'm going to go spread's -2 Cleveland, which is kind of surprising. I'm going to go.
They're at home, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'll go Niners 16-10. I say they pull it out on the road.
Sean Drawn?
Blaine Gibbard.
The Blaine Gabbert
is
era.
giving me a little bit of optimism.
Sean Drawn.
Gibbard.
That's a new clothing line.
Sean Drawn is getting revenge on his 8th NFL team?
That sounds like one of the sweaters JP could have got.
I know. Fubu, Sean Drawn. It's like a knockoff of Sean John.
Your face.
That's beautiful.
All right.
All right.
I'll go along with that. Doesn't look like there's going to be any weather there, so I would say 49ers probably do win, maybe a late field goal or something. But I think low scoring. I agree with you on that. One question before we go to the Redskins. Is anybody concerned that, are you concerned that Blaine Gabbert's going to ruin our chance of getting a top draft pick here by winning a couple games at the end of the season?
Operation Tank.
Would they select the right person anyway?
Probably not, but I don't know. I just think just throw in the towel, man. Get a top 5 pick.
Who do you want to see fired first? Jed York or Trent Baalke?
Can we get them at the same time?
I got to pick one.
Well, you can't. You're not going to fire the owner.
It's like
How do
picking
you know
your
that?
favorite children, but the
CEO,
opposite.
Yeah.
Should we trade for Sean Payton? I saw that this week.
I like that.
Who are you going to give for him? You can't give Bowman because he needs to come to Washington.
Trade that first-round pick.
For Sean Payton?
Yeah.
But then, then you still have
Trent Baalke and
no
Jed
chess
York.
pieces and
Yeah.
All right, Redskins this week. They've got the Chicago Bears. The Bears.
Well, if anyone finally remembers the gentleman who plays left corner, D'Angelo Hall, had 4 interceptions against one Jay Cutler and ran one back the last time we played this team. Therefore, I'm hopeful. I'm very optimistic in the Redskins winning this football game, being is that Jay will turn over the ball to the Redskins at least twice. So let's go Redskins 24, Chicago Bears 17. We're going to win the NFC East, and everyone's going to be
first
all
place
pissed
Redskins.
off. Yeah, first place Washington.
You might end up playing the Vikes.
I kind of want the Seabirds to come to DC.
Oh, no, you don't.
But listen,
I don't know about that team.
No,
come
you
on,
don't.
everybody slow your roll, okay? Because the last time they came, before RG3's leg buckled, we were winning that football game. So maybe Jay Gruden does something correct and suits him up and lets him get his revenge against the Seabird defense. Because he was killing them before his knee buckled. That's just my little Redskin fantasy. I'm trying to see RG3 go out on top, being as he's not going to be on the team next year.
Looking at the rest of the schedule here. So they've got the Bills after this, then the Eagles and the Cowboys.
They're going to win those last 2 games just because it's the NFC East.
Yeah, they could actually win that division.
I know. It's scary.
Real quick before we get out of here, Warriors watch. They are still undefeated as of today, and they've got 3 games before our next taping.
Against 3 losers.
Yep, against
I'm done picking against them. They're not losing a game.
Celtics, Bucks, Suns. Anybody?
When do they play somebody who actually has a winning record?
I don't know. I mean, I was just looking at those 3 games because do we all guess they'll still be undefeated when we tape next?
Yeah, they should be. Boston might give them a little bit of a run, but no. They'll be.
When does the schedule get tough is my question.
I mean, Cleveland's on Christmas. That's probably the next real test.
There you go. And then I would pick them to lose that game.
And that will be for 33.
That would be
to
33.
tie the Lakers.
Yeah, so
Wow.
then 32-1.
That was good foresight by the NBA schedulers.
It's amazing.
Just to give them the cakewalk and all right, now you play LeBron on Christmas Day.
I think if it's one of these 3, I'm going to actually go on a limb and say it's going to be Milwaukee. Back to back.
Yeah, it's not a close trip. I
No,
mean,
they
it's
got some
a couple
young
hours.
talent.
But they whooped them last time.
Yeah.
Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
They had the same problem the other night with Indy, so.
True.
All right, well, we'll check back in on that next week. Evan, you'll report back on Tommy Boy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will let you know how it is.
We'll see how the Captain Morgan goes for Brobes. JP, any final
I know
thoughts?
it's going to go well.
Team Huevos, go get your financial planning books for this cuffing season.
Shout out Ellis and Bradley Evans.
All right, that wraps up this edition of The Bullpen. Thanks for checking us out. As always, if you'd like to get in touch with any of us, you can tweet us at The Bullpen Pod, email bullpenpodcast@gmail.com. Am I forgetting any other ways, JP?
Nah, man, just hit me up for the book list.
Hashtag AskJP. Thanks for tuning in.
Do you feel like I insulted your wardrobe?
No.
You made that face when I
Anchor
made the
Blue,
Sean
Fubu.
Drone.
All I heard was Anchor Blue, and I was like, wait a second, Anchor Blue? Are those
I
stores?
was talking about my wardrobe clearly in junior high.
I was going to ask, I was like, is Anchor Blue even open?
No, that was part of the joke.
Oh, I thought you
Because it
were.
was back.
Right.
I mean, because you can.
I could have said structure.
You can find.
Structure. That was my jam.
All right. Good show, guys.
That was fantastic.
That's quacktastic.
Well, do I play Adrian Peterson tonight?
Yes. Just playing.
Against Renee? Yeah, I probably should.